So, all this stuff, the ratting and the telling and what is telling and all that kind of stuff. Like this is like every which way you look, right? So, and Boosie's every which way you look. So this was interesting to me. And this said something to me about Boosie. When Boosie was apprised of that video where T.I. says that he told on his cousin who was dead, who died after he and his cousin had caught this gun case together. He put the gun on his cousin. Boosie shut down a joint album that he had set up with T.I. Right? Because by Boosie's criteria, telling is telling on a dead man, whatever. He felt like if he told in that instance, he'd been telling. And then T.I. later turned around and said, no, he was joking. That didn't actually happen. He just said it, that he was joking. I mean, what kind of audience do these cats think that they're dealing with, that they can make statements like that and then turn around and say, Tip, I've known Tip a long time. I think I was the first person to put Tip on the cover, even though it wasn't the cover it was supposed to be, but he was on it. And, I've always liked the kid and the man now. And it just, I don't know. What do you think about that? Like him telling on his dead cousin, assuming that it actually happened.
I don't know. The same scenario happened. Gangster said that he told on his dead homies. I don't see no harm, if that was the case. We had a case and, the homies died in the case. I don't see nothing wrong with saying it was theirs. It was their dope or it was their situation. I was just there. And I don't consider that even telling if you was just there. You don't really know. I don't know their scenario on how it actually happened. You really would have to see what actually happened. But if me and you riding in a car and they find a gun in the car and they take both of us to jail, and then the next day you wind up have a heart attack, and of course the gun was yours.
Right. I mean, logically, that makes sense to me. But you and I are not influenced by this confused concept of street life and street ethics. You know what I'm saying? Rap by its nature is duplicitous. Rap by its nature is this way and that way. It's up and it's down. It's in and it's out. It's on and it's off. You know what I'm saying? Whatever's convenient. And I think, and that's artisticness. That's artistry. The problem is that I think that people are trying to subscribe or attach themselves, regular people, to these ideas, and these ideas are not, they're not straight. They're not, locked in. It's just whatever works. Like, for instance, saying something like that, like, I didn't tell nobody who was alive or whatever that is. You know what I mean? But it got my live ass out of jail, or my live ass out of a prison opportunity or prison situation. I remember and I love and respect you all, completely, but this is just in the context of this conversation. When your situation came about and they said, Rick told on some cops. He told on some crooked cops. I honestly don't know that you weren't, if that were the case, you don't work with cops. They're not your comrades. You are not on their side. They're not on your side. So if you obviously got lined up by crooked DEA, crooked CIA, crooked federal government. So everybody, all of those supposed law enforcement individuals are organizations are operating outside of the purview of their jobs and responsibilities. But you're supposed to allow yourself to be subjected to worst case scenario to maintain this no telling thing as it pertains to cops.
Well, it get worse than that. In that type of scenario, what they're basically saying is you're not allowed to defend yourself. You're not allowed to go in court and say, hey, The drugs they say I had, I didn't have. They planted those drugs on me. I wasn't armed that night that they stopped me. I did not shoot at the cops. That's not telling. That's defending yourself.
Exactly.
So
that's another problem again with the hip hop influence and it being a youth culture and regular young people from nowhere interjecting themselves into these scenarios as though they have any understanding or insight of these scenarios, right? And
or I know the law.
Right. So you can't really explain anything to them. They know nothing, but they listen to learn nothing. They are more preoccupied with going along to get along. They want to be accepted by their online peer groups, I think. And they just go along with whatever, the popular narrative is. You know what I'm saying?
The lyrics.
And it's
the lyrics
bad.
and the beat.
That's right.
The lyrics and the beat got them. So
that's right. That's right. And it's really messing them up. It's messing up our young people, Boosie says he was saying that people need to stop taking Boosie's a wild boy. Boosie said people need to stop taking fentanyl and go back to crack. He said there's too many people dying in 2022 of fentanyl. If you're gonna be an addict, you might need to go back to crack. He said crackheads live longer than anybody. And we know that's true. We know all the people that used to, cop are gone, and all the people they used to cop from, are alive, and all the people they used to cop from are dead, for the most part.
Huh.
Right?
Huh. Real talk.
He said, yeah, right. So he said, you still see them around. Talk about crackheads. He said that fentanyl shit was way stronger. He said if you can't shake it, go back to crack. You're going to be funnier, and you're going to live longer. I don't know why he said you're going to be funnier. I don't know why he said that.
Boosie wild, man.
Yeah, wild boy.